robots fighting. I love it. Oh.
Putain, il casse les couilles de mettre ça sur X, bah, merde. The Joe's bitch. Pas la couille, je veux voir ce qui se passe.
Nine, 8.
Give me the 4. Give me the hole!
Eight. Landing light.
Pas regarder ça tout de suite. Tu peux te parler des
At the numbers real.
Free. Possible in Florida, and let's check back in with Dan on today's countdown.
Anything like that in the zone right now, but their work literally continues right.
Cost chip per day.
We are
Minus 40 seconds and hold there for this new ice splashdown.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
Ah, il y en a qui marche pas.
All right, 30 seconds into flight. The rumbles are still building here in the Raptors nest. We're seeing 32 out of 33 engines lit on the Super Heavy right now. Coming up shortly is going to be Max Q, that maximum aerodynamic pressure as we go uphill on the vehicle.
Max Q.
All right, we just passed through Max Q, so we're going to continue on up. We still have about a minute and 30 seconds until we get to stage separation. Starship now flying faster than the speed of sound.
Come on, bitch. Give me the juice.
Du willst beim Backen mal...
Really allowing us to capture as much data as possible.
Cam's really guiding us through start, but we are here on YouTube Mug and excited to
From Starbase. A little more than 2.5 minutes until flight
Past the 40-second.
controlled re-entry.
It launched again, right at the top of their launch opportunity.
All
How
right,
do they
so
do
you
this?
got a couple of views.
Oh,
You
there
have
it is.
ground trackers in your top camera there. You're looking down
Yes.
the top of the booster in the bottom left, and then a camera in the top flap of the ship looking back in the bottom right. So getting a couple of different looks as Starship heads uphill. Once we get the hot staging, a lot of things happen all at once simultaneously. We're going to light the engines on the ship, starting with the RVACs first, and then the 3 center sea level engines. Before we're separated, all of that exhaust gets plumed out the side of the hot stage, and then the ship will separate itself. All but the 3 center engines on the booster are going to shut down, so the booster never stops its thrust while we go through this hot stage maneuver. 42 out of 33 engines lit on the Super Heavy right now. Coming up short.
All right, the first stage.
All of that exhaust, and then the ship will be on its own power on its way to space. So that should be coming up in just about 30 seconds from now. As of right now, still looking in like 32 out of 33 Raptors lit on the booster. And we'll start to see those stagger down. They're going to turn off in banks, so you'll see the lights on the bottom left screen of the engines that are active start to turn off in different groups. You'll see those 3 center ones lit.
They're turning the grid fin, so here comes
Booster
the
engine cut off.
Yep.
Ship ignition. Stage separation confirmed.
Amazing.
Boost back burn start up.
Acquisition Houston.
All 13 engines for the boost back burn. That's looking good. All 6
Hot
engines on
stage
ship.
confirmed. Ship under its own power. Booster boosting back. Looks like all 13 are lit. Kate, we've got a booster on the way back to the Gulf and a ship on the way to space.
Yes.
Acquisition signal stems.
Ship chamber pressures are nominal.
Ship power and telemetry nominal.
All right, the first stage currently performing the boost back burn. This is expected to last a little over 1 minute. This propels the booster back toward the coast, taking it to a landing in the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. As you can see on your screen in the bottom left-hand corner, we were only using the 13 center engines from here on.
Boost back burn shut down.
Heard confirmation there of good boost back burn shutdown.
Stage 2 tank pressures are nominal.
Lots of excitement. So right here, this is our view of the jettisoned hot stage. As we mentioned, this is a temporary fix to help reduce the weight of the booster, the Super Heavy booster. Future iterations will have a lighter weight integrated hot stage structure that won't need to be jettisoned.
Okay, you can maybe hear me, but not see me right now.
After we jettison that hot stage, the booster will begin to attempt its water landing in the Gulf. In the meantime, the ship will coast for about 40 minutes or so up to an altitude of 214 kilometers. And after its coast phase, it will attempt a controlled re-entry, including a flip maneuver and a landing burn, just before splashing down in the Indian Ocean. But as a reminder, we are not attempting.
Trajectory nominal.
Good news there. Trajectory is looking good for the ship, which is on the right-hand side of your screen.
This is looking good here, guys. This is looking. Look at how good the tiles look.
At this point in time, as you can see, we have no engines lit on the booster. It is coasting back toward the Gulf of Mexico for a water landing and ship under power of all 6 Raptor engines. There's 3 sea level and 3 vacuum Raptor engines that are lit, as we can see on your screen.
These views have been looking incredible. Super Heavy has been performing beautifully today. And you can hear the crowd is very excited about it. As a reminder for Booster, the primary goal today is to do a landing burn and a splashdown in the water. And we are just about 30 seconds away from that landing burn, expecting to begin. And an incredible view from the forward portion of the booster. This is basically on top of the Super Heavy booster.
You can see the grid fins working.
Where we have jettisoned that hot stage, so now we can see this incredible view of Earth as it's making its way back down to the Gulf of Mexico. Right now, the booster is using the 4 hypersonic grid fins to guide itself through atmospheric re-entry.
Oh my gosh.
And we are expecting that landing burn here.
That's an incredible shot. Look at how much speed it's scrubbing off just in the atmosphere.
And we will be igniting 13 engines, and this is a great view. On your left-hand side is 3 views from the booster, and your right-hand side a view from the ship. And you can see those grid fins on your left-hand screen rotating and turning to guide the booster, and there's that landing burn.
Oh my God. Definitely lost one engine.
The landing burn just begun, and you can see the water below.
Oh, yes!
And we have splashdown.
In one piece! Well, some pieces fell off, but in one piece!
What an incredible sight! Congratulations to the SpaceX team!
Holy crap!
Ship has entered terminal guidance.
That was absolutely incredible. The first successful splashdown of the Super Heavy booster. Loved seeing it just tip over into the water before losing that footage. Now the next milestone is coming up in about under a minute. The ship is going to shut off its Raptor engines,
Ship engine cut off.
which we see right there.
Yeah, baby!
You're doing so good.
As we mentioned before, today's test flight is not an orbital flight, but rather one that demonstrates the Starship's orbital capability.
Things are looking
right now,
incredible.
we are under power with just the 3 center Raptor engines. Expecting those, and just there we could see that those have also successfully cut off.
I love it! Are you kidding me? Look at that.
FDS is saved.
What an
Nominal
incredible...
orbit insertion.
Oh, there's great news there. The call out we were hoping to hear. Amazing views once again from Starship. We have our second Starship in space. These live views being brought to us by Starlink, which is on board the ship. Dan, what an incredible view we have once again. So exciting. We got another ship in space.
I'm I'm like still jumping up and down. I'm like, this whole building was going absolutely insane when we saw the booster hit the water. I mean, wow. Congrats to everybody that's just been putting in insane amounts of hours on everything to make this thing a reality. And I feel like every single time we do one of these, we're seeing something wildly new. We got to see the hot stage jettison and the booster in the water. But just to recap real quick over everything that's happened. So we lifted off at 7:50 a.m. only 9 minutes ago. How has it only been 9 minutes? 7:50 a.m. Central at 12:50 UTC. We saw 32 of the 33 Raptor engines on Super Heavy make the ascent. We had successful cutoff, successful hot staging, all 6 engines on the ship, powered it all the way into a nominal orbital trajectory. And we've already been getting some live views from the ship on board. After that, the booster was able to do its boost back burn. Oh, this looks like we're actually getting some views from the ground still, potentially from Florida, of the ship as it's up there. Yeah, so that's a view from some of our tracking cameras on the ground in Florida.
That is awesome.
But the ship, we just heard successful orbital insertion, so it's right where it needs to be, and is now going to continue on its way to coast until it comes to re-entry. But I mean, the booster, successful boost back burn, jettison the hot stage, and then a landing burn. It looked like we saw 12 of the 13 engines light up, and then that first ever soft splashdown in the water. So a whole lot still to come. Ship now on its way to its primary objective of entry. That's going to be coming up in just under 40 minutes from now. So a lot still to come, but wow, what a 9 minutes to start this mission off. So can't wait to see what entry's going to show us, but that launch was incredible. Back over to you, Jesse and Kate.
Amazing.
Wow. I am still trying to catch my breath here. That was some incredible views that we have never seen before. It has been nonstop since liftoff, and with the booster having completed its job for the day, we're going to take a short break for about the next 28 minutes, and we'll return while we're going to take a break while the ship is.
At those speeds, the spacecraft moving through the atmosphere.
Let's watch its altitude. It's probably. They basically added, it sounds like they kind of added some heaters and just I don't exactly know what changed.
Incredible to see.
Got a new view here. We have 2 external views. We had this one on flight 3. We've got 2 for this one. And we're going to continue adding views as we continue to evolve Starship. Again, this is an experimental vehicle. Believe me, I want as many camera views as you all do. So huge shout out to the AVI and the software teams and everybody that's been working with us. We're getting more cameras on Starship, not just because it looks cool, but this provides an incredible insight into re-entry, which is, historically a really tough window to look through. The physics of re-entry are insanely intense. One of my favorite NASA astronauts, Victor Glover, recently described it is with the forces, the flows, the temperatures, it's like pointing at a raging river in one spot and saying, tell me exactly what's happening right there. And like, that's what a ship is experiencing as it goes through, as it's moving through the atmosphere at, more than 5 miles a second and heating up to thousands of degrees. So just having visual representation, just being able to see what's happening is incredibly valuable. So these views are going to be through Starlink. We've got this one. This is in one of the forward flaps looking back. So if you see it rotating around, that's because, again, it's embedded in one of those forward flaps.
It is moving already.
So as we get through and we start to build up density in the atmosphere, this view is going to move around as the flap does. And then the other one we had a little bit earlier is looking at one of the other forward flaps on the other side. Eventually, we're going to keep adding more cameras to Starship, get a couple of different views from the outside of all the different areas.
Starting to see plasma.
And then also eventually to be able to see payloads once they're deployed. So a lot more exciting stuff coming up in the future. But right now we're getting closer to re-entry. You know, we're going to be moving at hypersonic speeds of more than 5 times the speed of sound. We're going to see that plasma start to build. So, Kate, Jesse, excitement coming up.
Yeah, as you can see with that view on your screen again, high def brought to us by Starlink. We can see the plasma beginning to build as the ship is getting closer to the Earth's atmosphere. Now, let's talk a little bit about how Starship will survive re-entry, hopefully, and control itself.
Exactly. We've been talking about this entire flight test. There's 18,000 hexagonal ceramic tiles surrounding the bottom portion or the Earth-facing side of the ship.
100 kilometers altitude, good altitude for entry.
Great call outs there. Now, during atmospheric re-entry, the vehicle is going to see temperatures as high as 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit or over 1,400 degrees Celsius. So those tiles are there to help protect the vehicle from this extreme heat.
Yeah, and the flaps will help control it. Now, one noticeable difference I see immediately, those flaps are not moving as much as they were on Flight 3. So that is a great sign, right? We had unplanned loss of roll control on Flight 3, so we added some additional thrusters, and we can see that they're working well, and we have a much more stable view. So those flaps, there's 4 of them, 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. They're made out of stainless steel, and yeah, they help steer the ship, which, as we can see, plasma continuing to build. Now, if the ship survives re-entry, it will have to perform a flip maneuver as well as a landing burn. We saw this demonstrated in a couple of high-altitude flight tests back in like 2020, 2021. Similarly,
temperatures increasing on the nose within expected ranges.
Great news there. It sounds like the temperatures that we are getting during this point, which again, we usually don't get during spaceflight because of this plasma. We're getting this live. This is great news.
Oh my God.
So similarly to for example, the serial number 10 test that we saw a couple years ago, we're hoping to duplicate that again today. Hopefully we will see it live. And basically the 3 center engines of the ship will reignite and gimbal or point to help flip the ship until those engines are pointing down so that it can land vertically using Raptor's thrust.
And as you can see, even from the beginning of the program, we've designed Starship to land on Mars where there are no runways or other humans to help out. We also want rapid reusability, so we're doing...
The vehicle is passing through 85 kilometers altitude. The flaps have control of the vehicle.
Great news. Flaps have control of the vehicle. That's exactly what we want to hear for this flight test.
Yeah.
Again, we are going to be doing a propulsive landing instead of a more traditional means like parachutes. And we are expecting re-entry to begin here in just about a minute. Re-entry, an awesome view that we have here.
Starship remains on a good entry trajectory.
This is the same view that we had when we first returned from the coast phase. Again, this is looking at the side of one of the flaps.
How is that camera not going to get cooked?
It's incredible that literally at the bottom of this picture, we're basically looking through plasma, which is just absolutely mind-blowing.
Wild, very wild. Now we are expecting entry to begin here in about 30 seconds or so. Entry to splashdown is expected to last about 6 minutes long. And that flip maneuver should occur around about 10 minutes before splashdown. And such incredible views that we're getting.
Approaching peak heating region.
Great call-outs there.
It's looking stable. Look at how much it's slowing down too.
Are absolutely astounding.
Nose temperatures continue to rise within expected region.
And in your bottom right-hand corner, you can also follow along with the altitude of ship as it's returning back to Earth.
This survives peak heating. It's going to be huge. It's so
once
stable.
again, this view is basically looking down into the plasma blanket that is building up around the exterior of Starship. It is traveling, as you can see on your screen. You can look in the bottom right-hand corner and see how fast it's going, how high it is, as well as the general orientation. Again, we're seeing a lot more stability, a lot more control here on this flight, which is great. It shows that the iterations, the learning...
Starship is now in expected peak heating region.
All right, great news there, telling us that this is basically the hottest point that Starship should get during its re-entry. Now, the heat shield is working with the atmosphere for some like free braking, okay? The atmosphere is helping to slow the Starship down.
Yeah, exactly. We're not using any engines or thrust to slow the vehicle down. Exactly what Kate mentioned. We're just using the atmosphere and those heat shield tiles protecting the vehicle as it's coming through that high heat temperature.
Yeah. Now, this is another one of those moments that we have been waiting for. Right now, the ship is currently re-entering the Earth's atmosphere, and by all looks and all callouts that we're hearing on the net, it is doing pretty well. Now, we do not plan to recover the spacecraft today, but rapid and reliable reusability is the ultimate goal.
Guys, this is insane. I think they're gonna do it.
Just pausing to just take in this incredible new and different view that we're seeing. We did get a similar view in Flight 3, but again, the vehicle did lose a little bit of its control, attitude control, and this is a very stable view. This is great. This is exactly what we want, and we are hearing that we're getting expected call-outs.
Starship is seeing half a G of acceleration, remains on a good entry trajectory.
You know, it's incredible to look at this photo and wonder, wait, is it real? Is it frozen? You know, we can see so I was just going to say
Those temperatures have stopped increasing.
Oh, that is great news. The temperature is no longer building. But I was saying, like, we have a little bit of indication there. We can see that streaking that occurs and tells us that this is indeed a true view. So once again, we are looking basically through the plasma that is building up around the exterior of the ship.
And I still cannot get over that we are getting a live view of re-entry right now, live on your screen. Again, we've said this over and over, but all thanks to Starlink. We are able to use Starlink in space, which we're getting this incredible data. And not only just the data from the sensors, but getting live imagery of what is actually happening, which is great, which we've never been able to do live before.
Right. Now, just a quick future outlook here. So in about, let's see, at T plus about 1 hour and 2 minutes, we should hear a call out for entry transonic. That means that the ship is going near the speed of sound. And then about a minute after that, we'll hear another call out saying entry subsonic, meaning that the ship is going below the speed of sound. So these are all continued indications that the atmosphere, right, as the ship comes back down, it is getting through the more dense part of the atmosphere, and that atmosphere is helping to push against the vehicle, and those heat shields are protecting the vehicle during this high heat period.
Unbelievable. This is the most incredible footage.
Jesse, we're starting.
I do want to just remind you guys how big this thing is. This is the largest flying object ever, and it's falling back in, not just falling back in from space, but hitting the atmosphere at 17,000 miles an hour, 27,000 kilometers an hour, or 8 kilometers a second. Absolutely screaming, and it's holding up. This is the first time they've ever done this, and it's maintaining orientation. Absolutely incredible. So this is incredibly valuable flight data. So impressed, and live views of it, insane.
The last signal with the ship on Flight 3 was at 65, so we should be making it past that point shortly. Obviously, as you guys pointed out, we're in a much better control this time as we re-entered in the right attitude, and our flaps have been steering the way so far. Once we get through transonic, that's when you've got essentially different areas around the vehicle where the air is either moving faster or slower than the speed of sound. We'll eventually get to subsonic, which we have some experience with. We did our suborbital campaign. And Starship will eventually get down to its terminal velocity.
I do want to point out real quick, see how there's a little bit of orange glowing kind of near the aft end there that we're seeing. Don't forget, they are missing some heat shield tiles, so we might actually be seeing some carbon. We might be seeing that burn through in some of those inert areas here. But it is past peak heating, so hopefully it doesn't destroy it, and
Yeah,
hopefully
but
it's
yeah,
valuable data
for
for the
future,
teams. They
but
did that
they-
intentionally to leave out some heat shield tiles, and that might be what we're seeing back there, or you're seeing orange. So we'll see.
As the atmosphere gets thicker and thicker. So we're at 63 kilometers, so we've already made it farther than we did on our last flight when that last signal was coming at 65 kilometers. So again, what we're really looking at here is the performance of the heat shield, of the flaps, of the seals in the flaps. There's just a whole bunch of different areas that we're keeping a really close eye on as we re-enter.
Starship remains on a good entry trajectory.
This is insane.
And looking like we're still on a good trajectory. If you're seeing little camera moves, that's the flap moving as it continues to maintain the attitude of the vehicle as it re-enters. And I mean, not just camera views, but we've got sensors inside the ship. We've got those sensors down at the very aft end of the vehicle where we pointed out we had some intentionally missing tiles, where we've got some sensors looking at just how hot it's getting around there. We intentionally put those in essentially the least critical part of the heat shield, where if you had any kind of a breach, it wouldn't be great for reusability, but wouldn't be critical for actual making it through the re-entry into the landing.
Reminder here, guys. So think about how much time it's spending slowing down. It's trying to reverse all the work that the booster, think about all the energy that booster yeeted into that stage. And then that stage also burned for, 6-7 minutes, continuing all that velocity. That's energy. That is energy. And the atmosphere is getting rid of that energy right now, slowing the vehicle down essentially for free, but at the cost of an extreme amount of heat. It's turning that kinetic energy into heat. And so they just had to survive that heating that we're seeing right now, which is what all spacecraft have to do, but they normally use like an ablative heat shield. The shuttle used a tile system similar to this, but it was quite the refurbishment process. So they're trying to, do this in a different way that hopefully is, it almost looks like it's burning through the fin almost, or maybe that's just an artifact. I don't know. I'm going to listen in. Oh, it's burning through the fin. It's burning through the flap.
External temperatures are starting to come down.
Again, this camera view is looking right at one of the forward flaps.
Oh my
We're
God.
strategically putting some cameras around the vehicle to just look at the different areas. Looks like we got the flap starting to come apart a little.
I would say a little, yeah.
Yeah, it does appear that we have a little bit of burn through there. We can see pieces of the vehicle flying off. What a show it has been. It's been like watching Interstellar or something.
This is wild to see this, but the ship is still coming down, which is incredible to see.
How far can it go? That is the question.
Keep your eye on the altitude in the bottom right-hand corner. We're at 54 kilometers right now.
It's just
Now, ultimately, the data is the
fin.
payload today. We've been saying it multiple times. Our teams are sitting, reviewing this data live, learning where the hot spots are. As you can see, there's an obvious hot spot there with the flap, and learning how we can improve this design. The goal was to get as far through this high heat re-entry as possible. Ideally, we'd love to make it all the way down and perform that landing burn and flip maneuver, but we may not get that far today. We will see.
Again, this is a test, and we are gathering as much data as possible, visual data as well, which we can see here. We are getting a lot of debris covering the camera on your screen, but we can still see some of those sparks and flames from that high heat as ship is making its way back down to Earth.
Ship now at 50 kilometers.
It's still maintaining orientation though.
The good news is we still got, looks like that camera lens just cracked. It's safe to say ship's getting a little beat up, but that's to be expected on a test flight. We are still learning how to improve the ship for total survival and recovery of the high heat re-entry.
I'm honestly impressed that we're still getting this live view despite how much debris is coming off of this flap right now.
The fact that we've got it is good news.
Uh-oh.
And
They jinxed it
I may
again.
have jinxed it. I apologize. Look at that. It's back.
We are still going.
And the teams here at SpaceX are excited, as you can tell by the cheering behind us. There's still a sizable crowd here at Mission Control Center Hawthorne.
A splashdown is expected in just about 4 minutes from now.
They might get telemetry all the way to the
We're
ground.
still moving.
I don't know if they'll
We
get
still
that.
have live views. Starlink is
Vehicle
doing
is
an incredible
approaching
job.
maximum entry dynamic pressure. External temperatures are dropping.
Okay, good news. Those external pressures are dropping. The question is, how much is the ship is left? We can't really tell. We can still see some of that particulate coming off. And unfortunately, we do have a cracked camera lens. But for any photographers out there and videographers, we know that's part of the gig sometimes.
Yeah, and you can
We
see
feel
that
that
the
pain.
speed is rapidly slowing down. That's actually really great news for us. We want the vehicle to be slowing down before it splashes down into the ocean. That'll help set us up for that flip maneuver, engines first down into the water.
Exactly. So we have seen this flip maneuver demonstrated on previous high altitude flight tests like serial number 8. Oh, more views. Or I should say more light coming through the view that we have through that cracked and dirtied lens there. But yeah, so we're hoping that this flip maneuver, that we can pull it off as soon as we get those views back. If we can get them, if the ship is still around, we will bring
Vehicle
it back
has
to you.
passed maximum dynamic pressure.
That is great news.
Okay.
Maximum
That's
dynamic
good.
pressure being the moment in which the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of aerodynamic pressure. Speed
That's-
still dropping. We're now at 37 kilometers above the ocean.
This thing does the flip maneuver.
Just like Flight 3, we are targeting a splashdown in the water in the Indian Ocean.
We don't have a live view right now, but because we're still getting data and telemetry, that does tell us that ship is still doing okay, at least.
It looks like it's speeding up right now. Oh,
There, we got that live view back. The crowd very excited to see that view, despite not being able to see very much.
The fact that it's there tells us the ship is still alive.
Yes, and
For now.
collecting
Oh.
data.
it's decelerating very quickly, so it's still pretty intact.
Yes, now 30 kilometers, now 29 above the Indian
Starship is at
Ocean.
30 kilometers altitude, Mach 2.
Sounds
go
like the
then.
vehicle's traveling, as we just heard, Mach 2, which is, looks like we might, I thought maybe it might clear up. It is a little bit,
Please tell me they have a tracking view.
now
Please
at T
tell me they
plus
have a
1
tracking
hour,
view.
3 minutes and 13 seconds into
can see the
Starship
flap
Flight
still.
4,
You can see the shape of the flap
hoping
still.
that the ship can hang on. It's probably potentially hanging on by a couple of bolts and threads. But
almost
it's still
down.
going, and that is
It's almost down to where it was for the SN flight. So 10 kilometers is like when it's the flight region it's done before. So we're getting close to
Per
that.
hour.
Yeah.
Starship
And-
is at 20 kilometers altitude.
Now keep in mind that even though we can't see anything, the data itself is what we really are
Starship is subsonic.
subsonic. They're telling us it's traveling below the speed of sound. That movement means the flaps are actuating. I think we can see something.
Détourne la caméra,
This
ça
is
va.
a nail biter. But we are, unfortunately, we can't see through the lens, but we're still getting the feed. Starship is now 11 kilometers over the ocean. All this data is incredibly important, even if,
Look at the
it
flap.
breaks up right now. Okay, we can see that flap actuating through the glass.
Look at that flap.
Starship is passing through 10 kilometers altitude.
Okay, the next milestone will be initiation of the flip maneuver and landing burn.
How is it hanging on?
Keep an eye on the bottom right corner of your screen for those 3 center engines to relight. They will gimbal or angle so that the ship flips itself back up vertical and hopefully lands in a vertical position.
This is like Short Circuit 2 with
The
Johnny
crowd is
5
very
all
excited
torn
to get
up.
this view of that flap still
Starship
maneuvering.
is passing through 5 kilometers altitude.
This is incredible.
It's dark.
Getting very close to splashdown.
These fireflies are such a good sign of life right now. We wish we could see
slow
more,
it's
but we'll
going.
take it.
Starship is at 2 kilometers altitude, terminal locked.
YouTube Music. Alles in einem Paket. Videos ohne Unterbrechung und eine App nur für Musik. YouTube Premium.
All right, good news there.
Oh my God! No way!
Landing burn startup.
I think it's splashing down right now.
Starship is in landing burn.
Landing burn shutdown.
The landing burn shutdown was commanded.
It made it.
Wow. I mean, it was a little bit of use your imagination as you were going down with what we could actually see, but we were able to hear the ship did its landing burn. It sounded
Starship
like we
landing
might have
burn
got
shutdown.
2 engines. And there's the final call for landing burn shutdown, but we'll go back through all the data, but we did get confirmation that a landing burn took place. Starship made it through re-entry and did its first ever landing burn.
No way.
From South Texas to the other side of the earth, Starship is in the water. What a day. What a day, guys. Yeah. That was absolutely incredible. We got views pretty much the whole way down. Analysis said it could do it. We weren't sure if it was going to be able to happen, but Starlink powered through. We were able to get signal. We started to get some debris on the cameras and everything, but we were able to see it. So, I mean, what a day. Just recapping, everything started off today. We lifted off from here in Starbase just about an hour ago. It feels like a lifetime. Successful super heavy ascent, boost back, and its own splashdown in the Gulf. Ship made it to space, kept its attitude. Successful re-entry through peak heating. We got to see it under flap control through the atmosphere, and we got call out of our first ever ship landing burn after a launch into space. So just really incredible. So I'm gonna take some time to collect myself, but wow, that was incredible. I can't wait for the next one. Over to you guys.
It was so loud here. I haven't heard the crowd get that loud probably since liftoff of Flight 1, honestly.
That was incredible. Congratulations to our teammates, to everyone who supported the Starship program. Thanks to all of our future customers for your support. And we'd also like to thank the people of Cameron County, Texas, as well as the Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, and the government of Mexico. And since Starship got a little bit toasty from that extreme heat of reentry, and we've got our very own Starship right here, let's have a toast of our own.
I've been waiting all morning for this.
Okay, may I?
Light me up. Yeah. Just like Starship, I like this toasty.
I'm keeping this.
Now, we've got more Starship test flights coming to you soon. Be sure to follow the SpaceX account on X for more updates from today's test flight and future Starship tests. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Oh my. Are you kidding me? This is actually me speechless. Like, I can't even believe that. I'm sorry if you're watching this and you're not quite familiar with what we just saw. This has been like the culmination of, I've been coming out here since 2019 when there's just a tiny little thing called Starhopper, setting itself on fire and doing little horrible propulsive little hops. Then to watch it go into the serial, SN 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, practicing that landing maneuver. Then today to actually have it all come together like this, I can't even believe it. Like, yes, there's some work to
Still
do.
trying to.
Remember what I said. They need to know where are their weak points. They definitely found out that those, and Elon and I talked about it quite a bit in the interview. Reminder, subscribe right now. We'll be having an interview with Elon Musk. He did actually promise something, and I'm gonna try to get him on that. Maybe even having a little bit of a follow-up. So we'll see. I said if they both splash down softly, can we do a follow-up tomorrow? That was last night. And he said sure. So maybe we'll actually get a little bit more content even. So be sure you're subscribed. If you're again a Patreon supporter or YouTube member, we'll get those reviews out as soon as the interview is okay to release. You guys will do a final check, make sure everything's good to go. Patreon.com/everydayastronaut or YouTube members. It's gonna be amazing. We're gonna go through some replays. We're gonna start kind of going back through the X stream and watching, if we can. I don't know, Spencer, Andrew, if we're capable of doing that. But we're gonna try and go back through some replays here. So it'll take us. I can't believe they made it through re-entry with like half of a flap, and it maintained orientation. I mean, there's gonna be some work to do, but this is enormous. This is absolutely enormous. Okay. Also, the big thing that I need to remind you guys. There's a few things. Number one, people want more. I know people want more Everyday Astronaut. They want their stuff. They want their. I don't make videos very often, like maybe one a month, right? That's kind of my upload schedule. I do have a podcast. People don't know about it. Spacewalk podcast, very casual. It's literally me, like sometimes at an airport or something, just walking around talking about spaceflight. I was on the beach for the last one after Starliner scrub, before I came here. Just literally walking on the beach, answering questions, talking about kind of topical things. Spacewalk podcast. Find it. Listen, hopefully you guys enjoy that. People have been program if I was tuning into the real thing, and remote, like there's a decent chance it's early June. August might be the next launch. I expect August to be the next launch, which is crazy to think about. And what's awesome, if they like the way the booster performed, they might try and catch the booster back on the chopsticks, back on the launch pad, literally catching the booster out of the air. If today wasn't exciting enough, the next phases of the Starship program are just going to get more and more and more exciting, more and more ridiculous. What makes me excited about the booster catch is I'll be able to watch that with my own eyes right out here and watch a booster fall out of the sky, and we'll hear the sonic booms and we'll see it try to be caught by the tower. That is going to be the most exciting thing, I think. I can't even imagine. Like, I can't. That's a skyscraper 70 meters tall falling out of the sky, being caught by a giant robot tower. Absolutely insane. That's what's next. Today was incredible, and I hope they learned a ton. It looks like they have a ton of valuable data. How they're going to like strengthen up that interface there, the heating interface, because that does not look very reusable. I don't think they can do that too many times. But it's huge progress. Okay, cool. I think we're gonna pull up some replays. I want to see that. I might as well just like rewatch part of it. Why not, right? And we'll see if we missed anything on the last go around here. You know, I was pretty busy outside, losing my mind slightly. Beautiful liftoff shot. Yeah, I was tuning into the real thing, IRL. Not seeing that shot is still incredible. Drone shot. I love they fly drones so close to this thing. We'll go full screen with this here in a second, and oh my gosh, that's a cool view. The shock waves. Are you freaking kidding me? Look at that. So reminder, again, this vehicle is 120 meters tall. It's almost 400 feet tall, 9 meters wide, 30 feet wide. Absolutely gargantuan. The largest flying object ever made. The heaviest flying object ever made by over well over double the Saturn V's mass. And it flew. They demonstrated engine out capability. This is one of those, you know, debates was like, is too many engines a bad thing? Today they demonstrated that, you know what, having a lot of engines actually gives you, you only lose about 3% of your thrust, which is easy to compensate on a vehicle like this because you can just throttle the other ones up. And that looked to prove absolutely successful today, which is really, really, really cool. We love to see that. I'm gonna kind of throw some comments up on here and some support. So thank you guys so much for those of you that are hanging out here watching. So this is a replay, just so you guys know. The launch already happened. It was fantastic. I just want to make sure that we're not disappointing anybody. This is a replay of what just happened about an hour ago. So that was an hour and 15 minutes ago. If you're tuning in right now, you missed the most incredible spaceflight test I've ever seen in my entire life. Absolutely unbelievable progress. And again, all a giant test, all a giant test. And that's what this is all about today. So there's Max Q-ish, it looks like. That is, oh man, whoa, we're way beyond Max Q. What am I talking about? I need to sleep. Look at that view, though. Hard to believe that it went so smoothly for only the 4th test of this vehicle. That's quite an aggressive picture. So they're really flying this thing very vertical. It's not a very steep ascent profile. So eventually, you know, they'll get to steeper ascent profiles, shallower ascent profiles, sorry, and get more performance out of the vehicle. But like I said, they're really baking in a lot of margin here, I think, on these first test flights. Here comes stage separation. You can see the grid fins do actuate to be able to help getting reaction off of those engines at hot staging. It helps it flip around. Amazing. That was huge. And the booster goes back to running 13 engines. So again, replay here. But the booster now is trying to cancel out that, so it's moving away from the launch pad. It's doing the boost back burn, which slows it down. You'll see that speed slowing. The altitude is likely still rising. Yep, it's still rising at this point, but it's not worried about the altitude. It's just trying to get rid of that horizontal velocity of it, moving away from the launch pad, because eventually it will come back and land. So what you're seeing here, it's pitched over completely horizontal, trying to remove out all that horizontal velocity. You see it there going down, but it's still, it's funny because it's going backwards, but it's still actually going up because it had all that inertia moving up. It had all that momentum going up in that direction. So even though it flipped around and is kind of slamming on the brakes essentially, it's still traveling up. So it'll start to fall back down here soon, as we'll see next. Completely beautiful looking boost back burn. That looked absolutely flawless. So that's incredible. And now you see it slowing down because it is, it's coasting. It's also coasting up. There's that hot stage ring jettison. And again, in the future, they won't need to jettison that hot staging ring. That's just a thing that they're doing now, just as an interim, to try to simplify and reduce the mass on the booster. Eventually, it'll all be integrated, and yeah, not so expendable, right? That defeats the purpose of reusability if you have to jettison the hot stage ring. Let's see. Looks like I might be missing out on a lot of your super chats. I'm seeing like from Nike Eden. Thank you so much. I mean, sorry, this whole system's getting our system's getting like overloaded here. So thank you to everyone who supported. I'm sorry that I'm missing. Like, this is a huge one from Nike or Nike Eden. Thank you so much. Really appreciate the support. All of you out there watching. This has been an amazing day for us here at Mars Studio B with the Everyday Astronaut Cosmic Perspective teams. Having a blast. This is what it's all about, is just being able to enjoy these views, witness history together, and just absolutely insane, guys. I can't even believe it still. So the booster is now falling, reorienting itself to come in engines first, which is similar to the Falcon 9 again. You know, we're used to this with the Falcon 9. I just can't even believe this still. Yep. So here it comes back in through re-entry. This is, you know, this looked similar to Flight 3, except for that Flight 3's boost back burn shut down early because it had ice clogging, you know, solid ice. We believe probably CH4 buildup. We'll talk. You'll have to wait till the Elon interview. We do talk about that quite a bit. Exactly. I don't want any spoilers because he talks about it quite a bit actually. So no more, no more. Oh, nice. We got a replay there. There we go. Thank you for putting that up. Yeah, no more blockages on this one. It looked like a totally clean boost back burn. This was a cool view. So this is from on top of the super heavy booster, looking, basically looking up, and you look at the sides there. You'll actually see the grid fins moving a little bit. Now we're looking up from the super heavy booster at those grid fins. I love that shot. That looks, honestly, that looks so fake. That's what's hilarious about this whole thing is like, you can't make this up. We were here and watched this. We literally saw this. Now, granted, we haven't seen the return, but I mean, it obviously happened, and we'll see it in the future, which I can't wait. This is where I thought we were gonna lose it, because look at those grid fins. They are shaking and wobbling, and I was like, oh, it's gonna do the same thing as last time, and then boom, ignition of the it looks like it got 12 of the 13 Raptor engines lit, enough to slow it down, and look at that. The 3 remaining in the middle did the soft touchdown. Unbelievable. Can you rewind a little bit again? I want to see just the landing burn again. And then it bobbles a little bit in the water. You can actually see it like... Okay, yeah, start from here. Okay, so let's kind of look at this, analyze this for a second. Again, this must be kind of coming up on the transonic region is where things get real dicey. The grid fins start going crazy as it's going from supersonic here and it's about to go subsonic here. Right around here, that's transonic. And now the thing is subsonic, lighting up the landing burn there. We lost an engine right away, 12 out of the 13 landing engines. You can see debris from that. But watch the altitude, 0 obviously, speed. Speed is still pretty quick when it hit the water, but that could be on a delay as well. Compared to the video, it's kind of hard to tell. We'll have to see if they were happy. Remember, this is hitting the water and it's remaining intact, which is fantastic. And now it fell over. So we'll have to see how happy they are with that. If that gives them enough confidence to go into the booster catch next. Just crazy. That was insane. And then, yeah, we saw the second stage continue on, getting up to about 27,000 kilometers an hour. It's cool that they do shut down the Raptor vacuum engines, those outer ones that you see on the bottom right corner of the screen. They shut those down first, and then they do just kind of, throttle down with the center Raptors like this, and then that allows them, so they're shutting down the outer engines can't gimbal, they can't steer. They can only do thrust differential, so increasing and decreasing the thrust. So if they shut those down first, the middle engines can gimbal and steer a lot, and so that will allow it to continue, guiding and stay on a correct attitude for the rest of the burn. It's not quite as efficient as those outer engines, but for this little bit, you're only doing a 1,000 meters per second burn there. Not even a 500 meter per second burn. That's nothing, and they'll be tuning that soon. Maybe they'll only do those C engine burns for only a few seconds, like 2 seconds or something during shutdown. But for now, they're kind of doing things just nice and easy. So yeah, so that's did that. Let's go ahead and fast forward then to the. Let's get to like near the end. So this is what the flap's supposed to look like. Remember, this is what it looked like before it got absolutely eaten away by plasma. The fact that it was still operating after being chewed apart by plasma is unbelievable to me. I can't believe it held up. So this view is looking down from the top of the Starship vehicle. Remember, again, this thing's huge. It's 45 meters tall, 9 meters wide, so 100. These clouds, by the way, are you kidding me? Like that view insane.
Putain, ils sont, ma team de
It's,
chasse
you know,
online,
100 feet tall, 30 feet wide, just massive,
C'est quoi cette
massive
prison
vehicle
online, quoi?
coming in. Of course, no one on board. These are
Fucking
test
moron.
flights. These are prototypes. These are just collecting data on if this re-entry regime is valid, if these flaps are valid for re-entry, if the heat shield tiles work.
Online, quoi. Mais ils sont où?
Can't believe. That's insane to me.
Putain, mais vos gueules, putain.
That's, yeah. Let's fast forward a little bit more. So yeah, so this is the view that we ended up seeing most of. I wonder if the other view ended up getting
Eh,
burnt
viens,
out.
viens, ça pute online. Viens, viens, ça pute online.
Jeez, that was some of the craziest spaceflight footage I've ever seen in my life.
Allez!
Okay, here's where it's starting to eat through. Let's keep it here. So you're starting to see burn through right now, actually. Seeing sparks flying, and now the plasma is starting to eat away at that joint. So there is a dynamic joint there. There's a hinge. And imagine trying to keep plasma out of a hinge. Obviously, that's quite difficult. And that's one of the biggest concerns. Elon talked about that in our tour last night. He's like, that's one of our biggest concerns is how do you seal that hinge? And it looks like they need some improvement. And maybe it means thicker heat shield tiles in that area. Maybe it means double plating the metal or some active cooling in areas. They might have to throw some regen through there with, you know, a coolant loop or something. Who knows what the solution will be? But the cool thing is now they have the data to move forward. Now they know, okay, this is what happened. We saw it come through re-entry. We saw it burn through in this spot. What can we do to mitigate that? What are all of our options? You know, with heating, unfortunately, you just can't get away from it. It's going to come and it's going to hit your vehicle on re-entry. You can't do like a propulsive slowdown. I know people ask, like, why don't they just slow down before they get to the atmosphere? Well, don't forget how much rocket it took to get it to that speed. It took the whole stack. It took the booster and the entire ship's 98% of the propellant on the ship to get up to this velocity. So if you had to slow down before that, you would need that same amount of propellant, which means to get it there in the first place would take like 10 times the amount of propellant. So 10 times, it just scales horribly wrong. So they're trying to use the atmosphere to their advantage. They're trying to use the atmosphere as a brake. And the atmosphere is really, you know, a great brake. It slows the vehicle down for free. It doesn't have to use propellant to slow down, but you just have to be able to deal and manage the heat. So like I said, oh, look at that's where we're starting to see the burn through. You can see it glowing and burning through that nose flap. So that's the nose flap. I'm afraid to touch that starship because it's just too scary. I don't want to break it. Yeah. I do want to play with it though and show you guys what exactly we're looking at. But that's it burning through. So that joint was failing, and the heat shield was not able to keep plasma out of that dynamic joint there. So, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. How did it survive? Like I said, I don't know. I made a reference to an 80s movie, Short Circuit 2, when a robot named Johnny Five gets like destroyed by some gang members. Spoiler. Still, a plucky little guy manages to still fight them off, and I feel like that's what we're seeing. We're seeing this, you know, anthropomorphizing this vehicle and seeing it as like this creature, and it's like no, it's just holding together, and you're just seeing it be ripped apart. And again, these flaps are like, you know, this is unbelievable. But yet, I can't believe it survived. This looked like Dunzo. This looked like there's no way they're gonna be able to, you know, I thought it was gonna break up for sure. But you can see the steel literally just melting away. Oh my gosh. If they have tracking assets, how cool would that be if they actually had like tracking assets, seeing some of this externally? The views, I'm sure, internally are absolutely insane. Yeah, and Mr. Susceptibility in our Discord says, I'm wondering how the other flaps held up. Yeah, it makes you wonder, is it all the flaps like this? Is it just this one that happened to get really bad? Was it all of them are looking this beat up? How did it maintain orientation and not lose control if all the flaps are just absolutely chewed through? Just crazy. This is a good question here from Vortex Gamer. Do they need to do another
Putain,
mishap
j'ai plein
investigation
d'être dans le salon,
for the parts that broke off the booster and from the flap that melted? So, good question. The way we understand it is as long as the vehicle, even broken pieces of the vehicle, are inside the exclusion zone and did not pose any risk, because don't forget they make a corridor where this thing's going to re-enter, where they expect it to splash down. So there's no people in the area, there's no boats, there's no planes, there's nothing. As long as the vehicle stayed inside that area, the FAA is actually working with them even quicker now and making it so so as long as it did that, they're going to basically renew the license again for the entire system, saying, yep, it posed no risk to the safety of the public. Go ahead and do it again. So we don't expect, and that's actually new. That's a good thing. That's, you know, people always kind of dog at the FAA for being slow. I think it's not. I know people want to make it about politics. I don't think it's about politics. I just think they're understaffed. And think about 5 years ago again, if you had said, hey, FAA, guess what? There's going to be hundreds of launches a year from the United States, rocket launches. They would go, no, there's not. And I just don't think they're able to keep up with the demand of modern spaceflight, and they're trying. And so they're actually making active attempts at, you know, doing things like, hey, if it stayed within the exclusion zones and nothing fell off of it in flight, that would oppose, that was insane when the flap moved. Here comes the landing burn. The telemetry didn't show the landing burn, or the engines in the bottom right. But this is when it touched down, basically.
Encore 3 personnes, putain.
Right there, splashdown.
Okay.
Can't even believe it. And it tips over. The little icon does show that. Can you rewind a little bit there again, Spencer? I was in the middle of a rant about. A little more. I want to watch the speed. Oh no, this is actually good. You're fine. Yeah, this is good. Whatever. Okay, so 9 kilometers. Again, this is pretty similar to what they used to do with the SN stuff. Was a 10 kilometer, but don't forget it started at almost 0 velocity back then. It would speed up to only like 200 or 300 kilometers an hour or something. So this was still having to do a bit more, slow down with just the flaps. I can't believe it held up. So down to 6 kilometers. Look at how much it's still slowing. This is the beautiful thing about using the entire vehicle to slow down. It's slowing down for free. It's not using propelling yet. It's literally, and by the way, I think the glowing that you're seeing, I think it is like on fire. Definitely appears to be on fire for sure. But it's also dark there, and you might be seeing some cloud layer stuff. But yeah, this thing was flaming all the way to the ground. I almost guarantee it. But this shot is cool. So I think it almost seems like this is when it went under some clouds, because it got really dark here for a second. And then we're gonna see that flap move a little bit. Last bit. And the engines light up. You'll actually get some light again, which is right about any second here. Here we go. Engines are gonna light, and you see that damaged flap move. I can't believe that it is there. Guys, come on. That was just the most insane thing I have ever seen. Oh man. Can you believe it? Guys, I think, oh man, there's so many people I need to thank. There's some huge super chats, like from Wheelbarrow. Thank you so much, Will. Hey Tim, I'm sure you have plenty of Texas tacos already. So here's some Tex-Mex and yummy drinks and desserts for the after party. Thank you so much. We will be feeding our team plentiful tonight. This is a big day. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, Eric says, how many times during the stream did Tim say unbelievable? Don't you dare do any drinking games based on my language, because I will say about 3 things over: unbelievable, crazy, like that, just some, lack of sleep. I'm not very poetic anyway, let alone like when I'm just shell shocked like this. But thank you so much. There's so many people to thank. Huge thanks. I mean, to all of you that super chatted and all the new members. We have, Derek Kerr becoming a member. Steve McCorkle says, I fully expect a super flap shirt. I don't know. We don't tend to do shirts that are like based on single events. You know, we like to do things that are just kind of more generic spaceflight things. So it's, yeah, not like riding off. I don't like the idea of kind of like riding off the coattails of SpaceX. Like they did this thing. Now let's make a shirt off of it. You know, let's merchandise that flap. You know, it's like that. Just I don't know. That's not really us. We you know made things about like orbital. This is can apply to any orbital rocket. You know, and our heat shield tiles. Yeah, that one's a little bit, I guess, but at the same time, it's hilarious. My house has actually had the same like design for a long time, so you know it's a pretty typical thing. But that being said, I don't think our next merch collection. We're going to drop a collection here this summer, and it's going to be quite different than what we've had recently. So, yeah. So speaking of that, obviously, if you guys want to support the show, again, everydayastronaut.com/shop. Grab some stuff while you're around. It means the world to us. It's the best way to one of the best ways to support the show. Obviously, patreon.com/everydayastronaut is probably the best still, and the super chats are huge. They make all the world difference. But everydayastronaut.com/shop. Grab yourself some merch. Again, we have 15% off of our heat shield collection. I think that sale will end tomorrow. But don't forget, we do have our RUDs up for 50% off of some stuff. So clear out that inventory for us. Help us get it out of the way so we can make room for the new collection, which is going to be awesome. So I promise. I hope you stick around. I hope you guys again are subscribed. I hope you have notifications on, because when the Elon interview drops, you're not going to want to miss it. There's a lot of good juicy details. Absolutely crazy. Let's answer a few more questions here, and then I'm going to wrap up so we can all. Maybe try to get a little nap in and then start upload. We have so much footage to go through and start trying to upload and do so. Yeah, just thank you guys all so much. I can't even from Eric Lucina and Captain No Name, Flap Norris. Oh, thank you so much, Jeff. Amazing. You're broadcasting the inclusion of SpaceX feed with it. I think that's the best way to do these is bring in the SpaceX feed so we stay. I like to be informed. I like to be able to stay in touch, you know, and learn as much as I can on air, obviously. And it just makes it an easy viewing experience for you at home, hopefully. That we can kind of we'll provide our views when they're great, and when they're sometimes our views are awesome and 4K. You know, we're the only ones doing end-to-end 4K. When we have those great views, we'll share them. Otherwise, at least we can always defer to SpaceX and watch together, and it's not much different than when I'm, you know, at home streaming or something. So I definitely I want to keep coming out. I'm going to be coming out here as long as these continue to be exciting. It's a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's because you guys are watching that we continue to do it. So all of you, even just watching, throw us a like. It makes the difference. Hit subscribe, all that good stuff. I just can't even believe it. From Wildly Coyote, I like this. Looks like the flap did have a stainless steel ablative layer after all. That's absolutely right. Oh man. The Space Geek, yes, it's nighttime over by Australia. That's why it's dark. Yeah. So I actually thought they were going to be able to re-enter and still have it be not fully in dusk. But I'm guessing it just, yeah, you know, that whole darn globe we live on. Let's see. This is from Benosaurus Rex. Now that since Starship splashed down intact, will they try to recover the body of the rocket to examine, or will it just sink to the bottom of the Indian Ocean? I don't think. I think at this point they're going to detonate it. They definitely won't try to recover it. The most important thing is the data on board. So they have sensors all over this thing to pick up on those temperatures, see what went wrong. They have visual data all over the place. They have more information than, you know, a visual inspection from the outside is obviously fun, and I think us from the outside would probably feel like we learned a lot. But they actually have the data that will tell them how to move forward, even without any recovery of the vehicle. So that's not as important. Okay, so I think, guys, again, I think we're just gonna end it here. We gotta get the teams fed and some sleep inside of us before we continue to download all of our footage and everything. You guys are amazing. And again, huge shout out to our teams here. Spencer for running the show, did an amazing job. I would say thank you, Spencer, but also Andrew Keating for running audio, and all the people behind the scenes that made this happen, the Cosmic Perspective crew and the trackers and all of the teams. This is so much bigger than just me. This is a whole team of people. And it's also thank you to all of you for watching. You make this possible too, because we wouldn't be able to do this without your support, and even just watching is support. So the fact that you're here still listening to me ramble is support. And again, everydayastronaut.com/shop, grab some merch while it's on sale, and also patreon.com/everydayastronaut. Get ready for the upcoming Elon interview. Will drop as soon as I can. We'll see if we can get more from that, but everybody, this was a huge day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Huge congratulations, SpaceX. What an exciting milestone. What an exciting test. Cannot wait for the next one. But that's going to do it for me. I'm Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut. Bringing space down to Earth for everyday people. Goodbye, everybody.
Vas-y! Casse-toi alors, casse-toi, putain. Si tu viens pas, reste là-bas. Oh putain, mais tape, ça le pue! Mais tape, putain! C'est quoi ce jeu de lenteur là? Ta gueule, toi! Ta gueule, putain! C'est quoi cette lenteur? Putain, fais ça! Putain! Ramène-toi! Mais crève pas, sale pute online! Reste derrière, salope! Viens ici! Finger de merde! Stand the fucking point, bitch! Ta gueule! Ta gueule! Est-ce que je peux bouger? Putain! Mais c'est quoi ce jeu qui est là? C'est quoi cette trisomie? Elle est où cette trisomie online? Putain, c'est pas plus des joueurs de merde. Le jeu nomade. Mais regarde cette sodomie, regarde ça. Regarde cette crise online, ils sont niqués par un mec, sérieusement. Mais si, toi, viens ici. Ok. Pas ma douce speed, maintenant. Désolé. Il manque regarde ça. 10 mecs qui n'avaient rien faire dans le salope online. Regarde derrière vous ce qui se passe, putain. Allez. Avance. Qu'est-ce que tu fais, salope? Arrête de passer derrière les gens et sniffer le cul des gens, là. Putain. Voilà, rentre dans le troupeau là. Allez, rentre dans le troupeau. Ta gueule. Allez. Est-ce que j'ai le droit à boire ma potion? Putain, je merde. Je suis à 25. Regarde ça, je perds toute ma stat. Vas-y, merde. Avance! Viens ici, sale pote. Cours, sale pute online. Cours, viens, sale pute online. Viens, sale pute online. ça va. Ça. Bien, ça fait pas mal. Saute, saute. Allez, ça fait pas mal. Il rentre dans la forêt. Là. Ils sont partis d'eux, une bande de bouffons. Bon, on va les chasser. Putain de délire de merde. Oh, faut pas courir mec ça. Tu veux même pas la peine d'être tué mec. Est-ce que je peux me décaler là? Putain! Mais c'est quoi ces rollback? Alors? Fermez la gueule. Gaz, putain, ce mec, laisse de la merde. Putain, dodge, je t'ai dit! Lâche ton sort! Mais c'est quoi ce jeu? Putain! Putain de jeu de merde, mais c'est tagué avec. Ah si, ça va pas mal. Putain de trisomètre. J'ai toujours là. Hein. I don't know what to do, but I cannot play this. J'ai cliqué sur OK. Du coup, hein. Dodge en arrière depuis 30 ans. Laisse-moi... Eh mais je vais dodger constamment si ce jeu il me permet de dodger. Qu'est-ce que fait ça? Moi plus fort avant de choisir maintenant. Est-ce que tu peux lâcher la cercin? Sérieusement? Que ça. Regarde cette lenteur. C'est quoi ce jeu de merde? Putain. Non, je suis assassin. Regarde, j'ai pris la potion là. J'ai pris... Mais ça fait combien de temps que je peux dodger comme ça? Putain.
worth much anyway.
I know, I'm just trying to think game. I don't know is the answer. Can't make money sitting AFK, but maybe they can.
Essayer. What? C'est bien collé ces mecs, on va voir les extraits comme ça. Ne vous déplacez pas, mais il y a besoin de rester sur une. Putain, 900! Dégage, mais... Jump, jump, ça va pas. Hey, jump, tu veux pas jumper? Jump, cette putain de mine. Jump, putain. Ah, ça le pute, là, encore plus. Putain. Comment? C'est trop lent. Je vais m'occuper de moi parce que je sais pas si à quoi ils servent les autres. Oh, je vais m'occuper de moi. Il y a un peu de début là. Moi je me regarde pas ce qu'il a. Allez, putain! Mais c'est quoi se boire les potions en 3000 ans? Mais stop the fucking stuff for les potions, mais... Vers la moitié de ma vie, je suis déjà là. Vas-y, viens, viens, saute. Pourquoi j'ai un triso qui vient là? Sérieusement, regarde ça. Putain de sodomie, dégage. Dégueulasse. Viens. Prends tous les deux tranquille. Viens, salope. Tape-moi dessus. Online. Est-ce qu'on peut remover le loup qui vient de nulle part? Putain de loup de merde! Ta gueule, toi, chien, c'est une idée, toi, t'es mort! Eh, j'ai fait ça! Putain! Comment ça fait? Ça va rien, les gars. Putain. Putain. Bien. Pourquoi ils ont codé ça? Pourquoi ils ont fait ce nouveau patch quoi? Fuck this game. Déjà qu'il était niqué, mais ça a pas eu. Merde. Ouais, j'ai fait ça, ça. Putain! Mais sérieusement! M'en fous toi, je suis l'autre. Regarde-moi ces trisos online qui savent pas jouer. de la gueule. Merci. La porte. Qu'est-ce que tu tapes sur le côté de la porte? Putain! Cours, ça pue. Putain, cours! Allez, bloc, ça pue, bloc. Dodge comme je veux, c'est une merde online. Wow, putain! J'ai dodgé, putain! Les gens qui sont Ouais, bien, ça fait pas mal. Bien. Ah, bien, ça fait pas mal. Cours, ça là. Vous tuez pas de mecs, bande de schlagonneries.
This guy. Imagine if they actually put a fade, an actual.
Yo. Desync rabbit.
qu'il y a des trésors qui regardent. Il y a un trésor qui regarde, c'est qui? No. C'est qui? Allez, dénoncez-vous là, ceux qui regardent là. Allez. Moaki kebab. C'est un French or English?
Ich bin laut einer
BetterHelp is offering free therapy for the month of June, and we need to talk about it. It's no secret.
Ta voix est faite par rapport à la musique. Est-ce que là c'est mieux ou pas? C'est trop... Là c'est bien ou pas? Là où c'est trop? Faut tendre l'oreille pour entendre. Après ce n'est que mon avis. Ouais, je sais. Mais après ce que je dis c'est que des insultes. Il n'y a rien d'intéressant. Aïe aïe aïe. Il n'y a rien d'intéressant de ce que je dis, baby. Alors on va aller caper par derrière parce que c'est l'après-midi. Il y a que des... On va aller l'après-midi derrière. C'est quoi ton pseudo sur New World? PG ça. Tu joues au New World? B au Rennes, sur quel serveur? Mais vas-y, je l'ai touché là. Aïe aïe aïe. T'es sur Nissa, t'es dans une compagnie ou pas? Tu fais des wars? Regarde ça! J'ai sauté, ça fait un swap weapon. Vas-y, et regarde, j'ai tiré là, vas-y. Vas-y, tape, ça. Vas-y, tape. Vas-y, tape plus fort, putain. Tape plus fort, vas-y. Putain. À mon tour. À mon tour, papy. Putain, il y a encore un mousquet. Ah, vas-y. Viens ici, papy. Deux mousquets, vas-y, viens. S'il vous plaît. Oh, le jeu. PVE. Ah, tu fais du PVE, ok. Ah, t'es un nouveau, mec. Ah, bienvenue, hein. Si tu veux savoir quelque chose sur le PVP, dis-moi. Là, ils ont un peu niqué la stamina. Ils ont un peu niqué la stamina. Je vois un peu comment ça se passe. Ça se passe mal, mec. Regarde ça. Je suis sous stam. J'ai fait un dodge, j'ai tout perdu. Regarde. Putain. Les persos ils driftent sur le sol, mec. Tu t'arrêtes 3 pas après, mec. Quand tu fais des gauches-droites. Attends. Aïe aïe aïe. T'es haché, casse-toi. Calme ta joie. Tu pas mes péons là. Vas-y, rentre dans le balcon là. Rentre dans... Hey là, j'ai dodgé. Putain. Allez. Putain, faut faire des moves de schlag online quoi. J'ai pas envie de taper ça. Aïe. Regarde, c'est Triso Online, vas-y, je me casse ici là. Viens, tiens-moi dessus, ça pète. Viens, je vais te choper, viens. Il y a John Skull derrière. Viens, il me tape ça, putain, viens. Viens, fais le tour, ça putain. Attends. Allez, venez. Dodgez. Allez, putain, mais regarde ça, regarde ces sauts. Putain, de scène de merde. Attends, il faut que je passe dans le futur. Quand ça va comme ça, il faut viser dans le futur, mec. Taper dans le futur. Il est à 1 mètre, il est déjà là, il est déjà sur moi. Est-ce que je peux me dépasser plus loin que cette truc là? Et oh, putain, s'il te plaît, réagis. Putain. Allez, cours, salope. Je vais te faire courir là. Viens ici, salope. Viens ici, putain. Regarde ça, ce changement d'arme de schlag online. Là. Viens ici. Vas-y, juste toi et moi, salope. Tiens, je te laisse. Sauron mes couilles, mec. Aïe, c'est quoi ces pseudos, hein? Regarde ça. Oh Dieu. Voilà, putain. Des systèmes de sécurité, viens t'acheter. Viens, ça va pas online. Putain, mais tout, je me fais bloquer par ça. Viens ici. C'est quoi cette merde? Viens ici. T'as voulu te coller à moi, maintenant tu viens. Watch. C'est ce mec. Hey, toi tu passes pas derrière moi, ça va pas online. Putain. Comment ça? C'est pas intéressant, mais... Arrêtez de body block. Aïe. Regarde-moi tout ce troupeau qui les suit là. Putain, troupeau de merde. Regarde ça, j'ai perdu toute ma stam. Noah Kebab, t'es développeur. Vous inquiétez pas, on refait tout le code combat pour le jeu pour qu'il y ait moins de bugs. T'es sérieux? T'es un développeur ou pas? Ou genre tu mimes. Non, c'est ce qu'IGS disait. Ah ouais. Bah ouais, l'IGS, hein. L'IGS, papy. Aïe aïe aïe. Tape-moi, IGS. Tape-moi, THC. Tape-moi, THC. Yes, 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 yes. Ah. Je me suis mis là, visez-moi, visez-moi, putain, je lag online. Viens ici, THC. Ah, tape-moi. Regarde ça, je peux faire des frites drôles, quoi. Tape-moi. Yeah. Mec, faut vraiment jouer comme un retraité avec cette spé. Aïe aïe aïe. Regarde ça, j'ai dodge, j'ai perdu toute ma stam là, putain. J'ai dodge une fois quoi. Ici. Vas-y, saute, on tape, moi. Mec, le mec il est passé en match. Vas-y, tape-moi plus fort. Ouais. Ils sont tous à la baronne. Hein. Je te jure. Ben ouais. Avec ce build que je joue, dès que tu as perdu 90% d'HP, il faut que tu lances la Light Embrace. Si tu la lances pas, à 90%, t'es mort. Dès que tu as perdu un peu de vie, il faut que toujours tu sois sous Light Embrace. C'est le truc du jeu. Pendant qu'il y a du lag, il faut... Regarde ça, je suis passé de 70, 100% à 50% d'HP. Regarde ça. J'ai dodgé encore une fois. Aïe. Aïe, aïe, aïe. J'ai oublié comment tout le monde était aussi mouton. Hein. Faut jouer tellement lentement, c'est n'importe quoi. Tu vas pas réussir, vas-y, tu vas mourir. Fine. Ces mecs qui chase, ils ont rien pour chase, et ils chase quand même. Oh, je rigole. On fait le tour, ça fait. Aïe aïe aïe. J'arrête. Il est l'autre, ici. Putain, ils sont tous morts. Aïe aïe aïe, le jeu, mec, le jeu. Pourquoi j'ai voulu rusher 3 points, ils y arrivent pas, c'est mon problème. Pourquoi j'ai voulu rusher 3 points, ils y arrivent pas. Putain, regarde ça, j'ai perdu toute ma spé. Aïe aïe aïe, vous êtes mon... Ce jeu, mec. T'as 10 d'HP ou t'as 10k d'HP? Là j'ai une version où je peux niquer des mecs super light, mais j'ai besoin j'ai besoin d'un dodge. Pour l'instant je joue savage. Sans stress, sans du texte, ça se constitue. Des fois je joue moins de focus, je joue entre 150 et 100 focus. Regarde ce mec qui craque là. Juste rester mobile. Allez, putain. Allez. Regarde ça, j'ai perdu toute ma stam en une fois. Vas-y, mais c'est quoi ça? Putain. Ouais, ils ont tout le temps de dodge, mec, c'est trop lent. Regarde ça, ils sont à moitié retard. Yeah, ils avaient même pas. Vas-y. Ici, toi. Putain, dégagez. Putain. Regarde ça, regarde ça. Aïe, aïe, aïe. Aïe, 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 aïe. Putain, faut jouer lent. Ils sont lents, mec. Ah, le mieux c'est d'avoir plus de consti, mais je joue contre des joueurs pour des duels et ils font mal. Mais avec 150 de focus, tu peux healer tes potes. Si tu es une premade, tu peux healer tes potes vraiment bien. Tu peux te focuser que sur ça presque. Et medium te permet de jouer avec 17 d'HP, mais si tu veux jouer light, tu dois jouer plus d'HP. Regarde ce mec. J'ai même pas fait ça, j'ai même pas fait ça. On est pas bien. Tiens, docteur machin. Rentre dans la porte. Au suivant. Au suivant. Aïe aïe aïe. Ça sert à quoi d'avoir 100 de stam si tu peux même pas la jouer, mec? Ma barre de stam elle veut pas se déclencher, mec. Qu'est-ce que tu veux que je te dise? Aïe aïe aïe. C'est quoi, c'est un livre ça? Oui, j'ai cliqué hein. Regarde ça, j'ai perdu toute ma stam et voilà. Putain. Le mec qui meurt comme des plantes. C'est mieux quand je parle ou quand je me tais en fait? Peut-être que c'est mieux quand le micro est lourd en fait. Non? Aïe. Regarde ça, il veut quoi ce mec? Jouez dans votre personne, les gars. Oh, j'ai fait ça. Maintenant, je me tape de mage là. Il est où le panache? Aïe, aïe, aïe. Regarde, c'est le mec qui meurt autour de moi, putain. J'ai pas envie de le focuser, et je vais focuser un maintenant ici. Je sais que t'es là. Je vais te choper, bouge pas. Viens ici, toi. Regarde ça, je suis déjà FaceTime tout le temps. Reste derrière moi, tu vas crever en 2 secondes, reste dans la Terre Sainte. Ah là là, il va crever comme une chip sur moi. Vas-y, je me donne à toi, vas-y, papy. Vas-y, tue-moi. Putain de jeu, quoi. Non, c'est brouillon parce qu'en fait tu peux dodger et tout, mais non, tu peux faire des combos de ouf. Quand t'as là, en plus là j'ai une connexion de schlag là, parce que je run Twitch dessus, mais quand t'as une bonne connexion tu peux faire des trucs de ouf. Et là ils ont niqué le jeu quoi. En gros tu peux pas, tu consommes toute ta stamina. Mais... Non, tu peux faire des moves de ouf. Juste, tu peux faire des combos, faut juste jouer en pré-made. Jouer comme ça, de toute façon les OPR c'est... Cours, mec. Il n'y a pas de healer, on dirait. Reviens ici, vas-y. Tu peux faire des trucs de ouf, c'est juste, tout dépend de ton skill, ton niveau de skill. Les skills les plus élevés, tu sais comment bloquer en fait. Tu bloques certaines attaques. Tu arrives à bloquer les... Tu bloques pas les lights, tu bloques certaines attaques pour temporiser avec tes sorts de soins et tout. Mais là c'est juste... De toute façon, on attend. faut, c'est connaître le terrain aussi. Ce qu'il faut, c'est connaître le terrain. Mais c'est brouillon d'une certaine manière si tu sais quoi. Non, là, tu t'affrontes en briseur, quoi. Tu viens en médium ou en lourd si tu veux être en frontline, sinon tu restes derrière. Allez, grimpe, ça l'anime. Putain, il a fait 41 kills, mais il a fait 12 kills. Ce qu'il faut déjà trouver, c'est trouver ta spé, ce que t'aimes faire, et quel niveau, est-ce que t'aimes distant, est-ce que t'aimes mêlée, est-ce que t'aimes mêlée, mêlée, c'est le truc qui demande le plus de skill. Tu joues quoi comme arme? Lance à chat. En light ou en médium? Light. Ouais, il va falloir que tu fasses gaffe. Ouais, je te conseille Sharking Hill. Et de la Resist Fire. Resist Fire, Resist Stock et Resist Slash. J'en fais une dernière après j'ai vu. Lance Hatchet Light. T'as des pièces comme ça là. Les pièces de nommé là, enfin comme ça s'appelle. Hein. Rajouter des trucs là, Solomon là. Ces trucs de PVP ça passe bien. Enfin en light non, ça passe pas bien. Mais tu craftes le mieux c'est de crafter Elemental Version et Sharking Hill. Plus ta perk. Si tu peux. Ça dépend ce que tu recherches, hein, des dégâts ouais. Ça dépend ce que tu recherches. Ah là, je veux rester healer, je veux rester en passif, de toute façon, il n'y a que ça, mec. Non, je peux un V2, un V3, mais là, laisse tomber, mec. C'est pas pour aujourd'hui. La rapière, arc-lance, hatchet et marteau d'armes, je suis en train d'essayer de fléau. Le fléau des lapins. Tu l'as looté ou pas? J'ai essayé de le looter, j'ai pas réussi à le farmer, je sais pas comment faire. Il faut pas mettre le chapeau là? Mettre le casque pour le looter, faut faire comment? C'est un loot garanti après un certain nombre de lapins. Ah ouais. Ah ouais. Là j'en suis à peut-être à 50 lapins, j'en sais rien. Ce que je fais là, c'est pour avoir les biscuits, pour la speed. Si t'as pas la speed dans nos PR, je te conseille même pas. De jouer au PR. La speed est indispensable, c'est une bouffe qui est tellement de value. Les gens qui ont la speed et les gens qui n'ont pas la speed, c'est la différence. Ouais. Bon, je vais jouer passif, je vais attirer tout le monde. Il y a mieux que là-bas. Merci, Buffy. Nice. Là je bloque, je temporise, je recule, je dodge, je l'amène dans un coin où il n'y a personne. Là je vais aider mon petit mec, là je route tout le monde, là j'attends qu'il essaye de faire quelque chose, non, là il faut que je descende, je vais me faire buter. Ah ouais mais ça lag trop, ça lag trop baby. En fait là ce qui m'a tué c'est que j'ai attendu que le mec... En fait j'ai claqué mon ulti pour aider mon mec mais il aurait dû faire des trucs, il a pas aidé. La plupart du temps quand tu meurs c'est quand tu aides un mate en fait. Le mate il est tellement plus nul que toi qu'il va jamais... Il n'y a pas de notion de groupe tu vois. Alors quand tu joues en primate avec des mecs que tu joues qui sont bien tu vois, et bah tu soutiens les uns les autres tu vois. Tu piles pour ton mec, tu vois. Mais là, il n'y a pas de pile. Là, je les pile, j'ai route, j'ai utilisé mon ulti pour lui et je suis mort à cause de lui parce qu'il a pas sustain, il a pas suivi. Quoi. Faut capturer Stanley avec le flail. Mais le flail, tu le lootes où? Ah, en gros, faut looter le flail et après, faut taper avec le flail. C'est-à-dire qu'il faut équiper un flail pour pouvoir le looter ou pas? J'ai ma bouffe, ouais, j'ai tout. Ouais, je spam ça pour accélérer le summoning. Aïe aïe aïe. Il y a tellement peu de heal que je dois lancer mes heals hein, sur les gens. Fléau garanti après vacu 300 lapins. Ah ouais, 300 lapins. Ah, j'en suis pas encore là. Et... Ah, c'est les nouveaux buffs là. Ouais, je vois ça après. Mais... Donc là on a un heal et un tromblon machin. Donc ce qu'il faut faire c'est un peu toucher les deux pour voir s'il y en a un qui est plus squishy que l'autre. Il y en a 3, on se casse. On tire les gens, viens papy, viens. Voilà, on attire, on recule un peu, on décale. On attire, celui-là il s'est mis tout seul là. Ouais, là, il dit essaie d'aller dans la personne. Là il est passé à travers moi et je l'ai cyclone. Est-ce que c'est un mage? Les mages ça pense pas. Celui-là c'est un lourd, hein. T'es lourd ou pas? Vas-y, dodge pour voir. Ah non, c'est un live, c'est un médium. Il est où lui là? On va se mettre en hauteur parce que je sens qu'il y a l'autre qui va revenir. Est-ce que tu peux paquer ta potion, mec? Aïe aïe aïe, je me tape de la Schlagon Line. Faut jamais montrer ton dos quand tu fais des trucs comme ça, sinon tu prennes le double des dégâts. Ah, il est tombé sous le fond. Ah, fuck. Et non, j'ai swappé d'armes, j'ai swappé d'armes. Et oui, c'est full life. Ah non, là il est sous le phoenix. Non, t'es sérieux? Eh ouais, putain de phoenix de merde. Putain de phoenix, celle-là. Attends, je vais taper à la porte en même temps que vous trois là, venez. Please, ne répare pas la porte, s'il te plaît. Aïe, 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 aïe. Donc là, il faut faire droite et gauche, comme ça il va être jump. C'est un light. Il va faire un coup de marteau, voilà. Le mieux, si tu veux faire PvP, c'est de tester toutes les armes, comme ça. Comme ça, tu connais tout ce qui se passe. Là, regarde. Là, je me mets à droite. Et là, je me mets à gauche. À droite. Et là, il se rapproche petit à petit. Et là, je me remets à droite. Et là, je me remets à gauche. Et là, je la tire comme ça, regarde. Et il arrive à venir. Vas-y, mais dégage, toi, Zabouzulu. Et là, c'est bon, on a capé. Là, faut le taper. Ah, fuck. Quand tu l'as, mais... Ah merde, celui-là il va mourir. Dégage, dégage, dégage. Cours avec moi, sale pute. Cours. Cours plus loin, cours plus loin, cours plus loin. Aïe, 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 aïe. J'aurais pas dû focus celui-là, mais bon. Je vais récupérer les ressources, j'aurais pas dû. Oh, j'aurais pas dû récupérer les ressources. Faut mettre cette bouffe. Et une bouffe. Ça, je sais pas l'autre. C'est horrible de jouer dans cette méta. Ah putain, t'as eu chaud. Mets-le contre la porte, mets-le contre la porte, mets-le contre la porte, le bug. Et tape la porte en vite. Putain! Sérieusement, là. Ça, c'est de la merde. Viens ici, ça la pommade. Viens ici, ça la pommade. Viens dans mon coin. Viens ici, toi. T'as manqué un petit truc, hein? Bon. Putain, ce mec comme un shit. Regarde ça, j'ai tout perdu. Et il est mort l'autre Trisov. Viens. Viens, viens, viens. Alors là, il faut repérer qui est squishy, et la personne qui est squishy, c'est Olga. Donc il faut la taper petit à petit pour qu'elle meure à bon efficient. Voilà. Après on a un putain de trisobi là. Ah vas-y, mon sol est pas parti. Mon dodge il est pas parti. Oh, j'en peux plus de... Putain. Mec, ça je le tiens jour et nuit, non. C'est trop vrai que je les tiens jour et nuit, mais vas-y quoi. Aïe aïe aïe. C'est une merde, merde. Et... Vas-y! Putain! Mais ça se lance jamais! Non, casse-toi, t'as pas regardé ce qui se passe. Casse-toi! Et toi! Putain! Vas-y, quoi. Vas-y, je vais enlever une pièce d'armure. Hein. Je vais enlever ça. Hein. On va voir si je reçois moins de dégâts. Hein. Déjà, je fais... Est-ce que je fais 20 dégâts là? C'est le même truc. Enlever combien de plein d'air, ouais. Bon, je vais y aller. Je vais y aller, mais je souhaite une bonne après-midi. De toute façon, pour l'instant, faites du PVE. De toute façon, c'est quand? C'est demain, non? Le 6, c'est quand la D-Link? D-Link, c'est quand là qui ressortent le truc? C'est ce soir ou demain là? C'est ce soir ou demain l'annonce. World... New World, c'est comme ça. C'est à 19h ce soir. C'est le June 7. C'est écrit June 7, mec. À voir ce qu'ils vont sortir. Hein. À voir ce qu'ils vont sortir, papy. Bon bah tout hein. Voilà, il faut jouer New World à poil. Hein. Et voilà, oui. Bah je transfère à quelqu'un là. Alors on va transférer à qui là? Est-ce qu'il y a un mec qui est digne? New player, nanana. Est-ce qu'il y a un mec qui fait du PVP là-dedans là? Charity. Ah ouais, Charity, on va arrêter ce petit PD là. Ah, vous êtes sérieux, mettez pas des trucs comme ça. Aïe aïe aïe.